Welcome to the Loyola in the Know Game Break on WQNO 690 AM and K268DR 101.5 FM in New Orleans, and also streaming live on Loyola's Wolfpack Athletics website and app. I'm Albert DuPont with the Loyola School of Communication and Design. With these Game Break in the Know segments, we hope to give you an inside look at Loyola Athletics, the College of Music and Media, the School of Communication and Design, Catholic Community Radio, and our underwriters. We'll be back to the action in a few minutes, but first I'd like to introduce to you today's guest, David Dawson, President and General Manager of Catholic Community Radio. Welcome, David.
Well, thank you very much. Happy to be here.
Oh, glad you could join us. So first, how did you get started with Catholic Community Radio?
Oh, my goodness. You know, I was noticing a void in good radio. In other words, there's a lot of talk radio, and I love listening to it all the time in my car. And I would hear sports, or I would hear politics, but there wasn't much. I mean, talk radio I'm talking about. There wasn't much else out there until one day I stumbled across a station, because I was always scanning stations. I stumbled across a station that I could hear from Alexandria, and it was Catholic radio. And I was amazed because everything was different, and I couldn't stop listening to it. Now, I could barely pick it up in my car, but I positioned my car to where in a parking lot to where I could hear it, and I just listened for like an hour because it was so different, and it was something that I felt like I really needed to hear. And ever since then, I was hooked, and I felt like this really does need to come to South Louisiana. Mm-hmm. So it was just planted in my head that way.
Yeah, and making the jump to being a listener to being a station owner, that's a big jump.
It was quite the big jump. You're absolutely right.
But it seems like things kind of fell into place once you kind of got the ball rolling.
It was kind of amazing. And so real short story, getting with a group of guys, some good friends of mine, we got together, we had coffee and talked about how could we do this. And so we wound up buying time on a little radio station in Donaldsonville, Louisiana, and a couple of hours time. One thing led to another, and I was asked, would you like to manage this radio station? It's like, I had no experience or anything. And I said, of course. I said, sure. I don't know where that came from and why it came out my mouth. But I said, sure, I'll do it, because I knew we were going to get more Catholic programming if I did that. So I was able to do that. And one thing led to another. We continuously searched for a radio station here in Baton Rouge. This is where I am right now. But I knew all of South Louisiana needed radio. So it was a start. And so we searched, we found a station that was available. Through a miracle, we were able to get that station. And then one thing led to another, and the other station in New Orleans became available. The large one, WQNO 690 AM. And we're still growing. We're starting up FMs very, very soon.
Yeah, I mean, I think the reach of when y'all acquired 690, I mean, that was I guess it expanded the reach of Catholic Community Radio, especially here in South Louisiana, like in the New Orleans area, where there's a big population of Catholics, and along the Gulf Coast, home of Thibodeau. I mean, you cover a good bit of area with 690.
We do. In fact, Archbishop Amon said, if we're going to have a Catholic radio station, I want it to cover the entire diocese. Well, not only does it cover the entire diocese, it covers the entire diocese of Houma Thibodeau and I believe the Biloxi diocese. So, yeah, we do fit the bill with 690 AM. It's the old WTIX AM, the old WTIX AM. So happy to get it. Good memories for me, too.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a great signal. And so how has Catholic also radio grown? Because you're not just radio. You're also video and podcasts and all kinds of things. So what kind of other things does Catholic Community Radio do to reach the audience?
Well, one of the members of the board is Father Chris Decker, and he is always very future-oriented, very far-sighted, if you will, when it comes to media, and he's very savvy on that. So he would constantly come up and say, "We're going to do this now. We're going to try this out. We're going to try that." I'm always saying yes. And one thing led to another. Albert, you were a big part of this with some equipment, cameras that you helped us out with. And we just continue we want to hit as many people as possible in all kind of ways as possible. And we're still saying that. We want to continue to grow and hit every form of media that we can, because there's a whole lot of people that need to hear what we're doing. Rather than we want them to hear, or we're trying to make money off of this. No, this is something we're trying to sell Christ. We're trying to help people throughout their day. And so we're doing every form of media that we can, and things just keep coming our way. Thank God for you guys and technology. We're just going to keep continuing to grow.
Mm-hmm. And how is I guess some stories of people who have been touched by Catholic radio and lives changed. Could you? I don't know. If I hate to put you on the spot, but do you have any?
I do. Yeah, I have some examples, quite a few, and I love to hear those stories. That's just every now and then somebody will tell me that's a story like that, and I'll just like, okay, we can shut down. We're done. We did our job. But, we want to continue to grow. But it's stories like folks that listened who weren't even Catholic and just stumbled across us and were fascinated. For one thing, we're not your typical fare. We're not your typical content that you're going to hear on talk radio, and we're not just preaching to you or anything like that. It's just not one guy talking to you the whole time. It's very entertaining radio. We have quite a few talk shows with questions and answers and such, and these folks stumbled across us, listening, and then wound up saying, I did not know that about my Catholic faith, or I did not know that about the Catholic faith, because they weren't Catholic, and they wound up inquiring, getting an RCIA, and becoming Catholic. And it's just been one story after another, and it's usually somebody stumbling across us while they're crossing the causeway, or while they're sitting in their car parked and they're just flipping around just to see what's out there, and they stumble across us. And hopefully we're very engaging. Hopefully we're engaging enough to get your attention, maybe answer a few questions, and just plant seeds. That's all we do.
Yeah, and that's actually how I got hooked.
Oh, there you go.
Just stumbling around. Actually, there used to be a talk station on 690.
Yes.
And I used to listen to them occasionally, and all of a sudden one day it wasn't that station.
Yes.
And I'm like, what's this? Oh, very interesting. But
right,
no, that's
right.
what got me hooked,
That's
and
what we
kind of brought
for.
me in.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess finally, the reason we're talking today is it's halftime of a Loyola game, and you're incorporating Loyola athletics into the Catholic Community Radio family. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Well, I mean, everything that we do here, we do real live radio for real live people. We don't just, as I said before, we don't preach to you every day. We know everybody loves sports. We know, well, not everybody loves sports, but we know quite a few people like sports. A lot of people, folks like the news. We have all of that, and I wanted to broaden our horizon there too, just so that we could just share the airwaves. Have a little entertainment too. Folks need to unwind. Folks need to relax. There's a lot of folks, they want to hear their schools. Well, here we are. We're here to help out with that too.
Yeah, and I mean, being one of the couple of major Catholic universities in the city. I mean,
yes.
I think it expands the reach, and I know the people here at Loyola are very happy about it. I mean, we haven't been on the radio in quite a few years, so it's I think it's a win-win for both of us. And also, I guess finally, how do you see the relationship between maybe growing in New Orleans, between Loyola and also the Archdiocese of New Orleans?
Oh my goodness, it's been such a treat to work with the Archdiocese, because I felt like we were embraced when we came on. A lot of priests loved what we have done. The Archbishop works with us very closely, so if there's anything we need to share from any schools or any parishes or anything, we're their bulletin board. We're happy to do that. So we love working closely with the parishes. And now we're talking Loyola. I am really excited about that too, because you have a media curriculum there, and I cannot wait to work with you guys. I can see us growing in that as well. We want to provide a better news, maybe some other form of entertainment. Who knows? But I see a wonderful opportunity for growth here. Love working with you.
Well, that's great. We're very excited to be working with y'all too. So, well, thank you so much for joining us, and we'll have to catch up again another time and get more of the story.
Thank you.
Thanks a bunch. Thanks for listening to the Loyola in the Know Game Break on WQNO 690 AM and K268DR 101.5 FM in New Orleans, and also streaming live on Loyola's Wolfpack Athletics website and app. For more information on Loyola's University's programs, please visit our website at loyno.edu. That's LOYNO.edu for Loyola New Orleans. I'm Albert Dupont with the Loyola School of Communication and Design. Now back to the action.